A very good evening to all brothers and sisters in the Dhamma. Today is Tuesday class, 14 October 2025. We will be continuing our sharing from this book, the wonderful Dhamma Lotus Flower Sutra. Okay, let us gather as usual for our puja. Come. Compose our mind, develop the faith, Saddha, Virya. Then mindfully we shall commence the puja chanting. Namo 本师释迦牟尼佛 Namo 本师释迦牟尼佛 Namo 本师释迦牟尼佛 Namo 观世音菩萨 Namo 观世音菩萨 Namo 观世音菩萨 Namo 阿弥陀佛 Namo 阿弥陀佛 Namo 阿弥陀佛 Namo 弥勒佛 Namo 弥勒佛 Namo 弥勒佛 Namo 地藏王菩萨 Namo 地藏王菩萨 Namo 地藏王菩萨 Namo 普贤菩萨 Namo 普贤菩萨 Namo 普贤菩萨 Namo 药师佛 Namo 药师佛 Namo 药师佛 Namo 佛菩萨 Namo 佛菩萨 Namo 佛菩萨 Arahang Sama Sambuddho Bhagava Buddhang Bhagavantang Abhivademi Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammang Namasami Supatipanno Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho Sanghang Namami Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Buddhang Saranang Gacchami Dhammang Saranang Gacchami Sanghang Saranang Gacchami Dutiyampi Buddhang Saranang Gacchami Dutiyampi Dhammang Saranang Gacchami Dutiyampi Sanghang Saranang Gacchami Tatiyampi Buddhang Saranang Gacchami Tatiyampi Dhammang Saranang Gacchami Tatiyampi Sanghang Saranang Gacchami Panatipata Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami Adinadana Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami Kamesu Miccacara Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami Musawada Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami Surameraya Majapamadatana Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami. Okay, here can be seated. We turn to page 3 of the chanting book. We will continue from Padipa Puja onwards. Ganna Sarappa Ditena Dipena Tamadangsina Tiloka Dipang Sambuddhang Pujayami tamonudang Ganda sambara yutena Dopena hang sugang hina Pujaye pujaniyang tang Puja bhajana mutamang Vanna ganda guno petang Etang kusuma santatin Pujayami munindasa Siri pada sarorohe Pujemi budang kasumena nena Punnena metena cha hotu mokang Pupang milayati yata idang me Kayo tata yati isnasa bawang Adivase tuno bhante Paniyang parika pitang Anukampang upadaya Patigan hatu mutamang Adivase tuno bhante Pali parika pitang Anukampang upadaya Patigan hatu mutamang Adivase tuno bhante Bojanang parika pitang Anukampang upadaya Patigan hatu mutamang. Okay, now we shall chant the Puja aspiration based on our understanding of the significance of all these Puja offerings. Significance of offering of light. May this offering of light to the Buddha brings forth the causes and conditions to illuminate our mind and help arise the needed clarity and understanding to dispel all darkness of ignorance therein. Significance of offering of water. May this offering of pure, clear, cool water lead us to the pure, clear Dhamma that cools and doses off the fires of all defilements within our mind. Significance of offering of incense. May our morality, virtue, and understanding shine forth far and wide, just like the fragrance of this incense, which we are offering to the Blessed One, who is perfect in wisdom and virtue. Significance of offering of fruits. May this offering of fruits remind us of the Dana Parami of generosity and the fruit of our karma, so that we will diligently strive on with heedfulness to attain the path and fruition soon as possible. Significance of offering of flowers. May this constant offering of flowers to the Blessed One strengthen our faith and constantly remind us of the impermanence of this body, so that we will diligently and sincerely strive on to cultivate Sila, Samadhi, and Panya, leading to ultimate liberation, the born-free Nibbana. Making of overall aspiration. By the power of all these merits born of these offerings, may our spiritual faculty of Saddha, Virya, Sati, Samadhi, and Panya be further strengthened until they become balas or powers. Sharing and transfer of merits to all beings. May these merits be shared and transferred to all beings without exception, especially to those who have the condition and affinity to receive them. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, let us pay respect to Puja. Buddhang Pujayami. Dhammang Pujayami. Sanghang Pujayami. Awareness-based meditation is very important, very useful. It will help us develop the stability of inner awareness, which is the inner mindfulness, or what we call the silent mind within, that is completely without word, without chattering, without verbalization, just tranquil and still. Most living beings cannot be in that state because they think a lot. They are so conditioned by their habitual tendency and the way they go about living their life. Most of the time, they are heedless, lost in thought, hardly mindful or aware within. So without this inner awareness or stability of inner mindfulness, you cannot meditate. Because to be heedful, you need to be ever mindful and constantly meditative. So to be in that state of ever mindful, we need to train our mind to be aware, to be mindful, then stabilize it. That's why awareness-based meditation is to allow us to develop that. Then when the internal stability of mindfulness has been established, that is the beginning of meditation, the beginning of direct seeing, the beginning of meditative awareness that observe with the silent mind, means the silent observation of the reality within nature, within life and existence, so that we can realize the truth, awaken to the truth. That's why in the teaching the Buddha always say, to develop wisdom, you must learn to see things as they are, not in accordance with what your thought tell you, not based on your views, opinion, conditioning and belief system. The reality is the truth. Whatever that manifests and arises within that moment, that is the reality. And all these are supported by causes and conditions. That's why the Buddha always taught the monk, whatever arises, there are causes and conditions behind. So to understand all this, you need to have this mind that is trained, that has sati within, so that the silent mind with inner awareness can develop this direct seeing, the silent observation of the reality of what is. Then you start to understand what the 5 aggregates of form and mind is, what this human being is all about. And you can start to see how we function as a human being, thereby understanding clearly what is this form and mind all about, what is this so-called human being or living being all about. Then learn to observe the dependent origination phenomena, everything that manifests and arises within our existence. We can see it through our senses, through the respective sense door consciousness. Because we are a conscious being, we can be conscious of what we see, what we hear, what we smell, what we taste, what we tactily feel and think. So this ability to be conscious is the unique quality of a living being, especially us as human beings. And through consciousness, we come to know the world. Through consciousness, we interact with the world. That is how we know the world. That's how we interact with the world. Then from there, all existence reality or apparent reality manifests. So without mindfulness, without awareness, without the stability of inner awareness, which is our silent mind, our Sometimes they call it your true mind, which is the meditative mind. You cannot develop the wisdom and the understanding. That's why awareness-based meditation is very important. Then I had towards the end, finally, teach you all the easiest and simplest way to develop it, using the 4 support. For the sainthood way, you only need to stabilize the mind through the first 3 support. So this support are mind state that can support you to develop the inner awareness. So when you listen attentively and just give it a try and do it, then you will come to understand it clearly. Then you can actually do it. Then when you can do it, when your inner awareness is stabilized, you will progress very fast. That is the beginning of real meditation, awareness-based, not thought-based. Thought-based approach or meditation cannot realize the Dhamma that is beyond thought, beyond mind. No way. That's why this Dhamma, according to the Buddha, based on his teaching on the salutation to the Dhamma, he said this Dhamma is well expounded by him, the Buddha. And this Dhamma has the following unique quality. It is akaliko, means can be realized, it is sanditiko, can be realized in the here and the now, before one die. Then it is akaliko. This Dhamma is beyond thought, beyond mind. That's why you have to develop the inner mindfulness or sati, stabilize it to awaken to the Dhamma which is beyond thought, beyond mind. So apart from the characteristic of sanditiko, akaliko, it is also the truth, can stand up to investigation. That's why he said this Dhamma, you can investigate into it. Ehipasiko, he invites the cultivator to come and investigate into it. Then this Dhamma, which he realized, is leading inward into our nature, or we call it sanditiko, akaliko, ehipasiko, opanayiko. Opanayiko means this Dhamma, which is beyond thought, beyond mind, can be realized by the wise, each for themselves, and it leads inward into our nature. That's why opanayiko is leading inward into our nature. Some call it the heart, where the gateway to our nature lies. So it's okay to say it leads into our heart. Then, because it can be realized only by the wise, that's why it's pacetang, veditabo vinuhiti. So can only be realized by the wise, each for themselves. That's why awareness-based meditation is very important. Okay, now I will go into the first 3 support first. The first support is relax body and mind, completely relax. Be at ease. No tension, no stress, no problem. Just relax. Let things be. Allow everything to settle down and return to its original state of the silent mind before the stirring. And when you can let it happen, that relaxation alone can lead you to the realization of your true mind, your silent mind. That's why just relax. Don't try to do anything. Don't try to know. Don't try to do. Just relax. Then what you need to do is, it's not really a doing. Maintaining awareness means Keep to the awareness nature, maintain it. Whatever arises within your six sense door, just away, finish. So this ability to maintain the inner awareness or sati is very important. When you can be just mindful of whatever that arises within your six sense bases, that is awareness-based meditation. Away, finish. Away, finish. And let the mind settle down, slow down, and develop the stability. The stability of awareness is very important. So first support, relax. Second support, maintaining awareness. Then third support is stabilizing the awareness. Allow it to stabilize. And when you can do this, until you are very skillful, until the mind is most of the time just relaxed, away, finish. Then on its own, the mind will settle down. And this awareness will become a new way of living, a new way of arising. Because you are instead of lost in thought most of the time, think a lot, verbalize, or do all those funny things, creating sankhara activity and movement. You are now just completely silent, tranquil, just away. Means you stay with your inner awareness, which is your pure awareness nature, which is your true mind, your silent mind, your meditative mind. And that's how you stabilize it. Then when it becomes stable, you will know. The form of mind that realize that state will know. Because the mind on its own will return to its original state before the thinking or the stirring of the mind, before the thought arise, before sankhara activity arise. So stay with that inner silence, tranquility and stillness. Then when that one becomes stable, my nature will rejoice with you, sadhu you, because by then you will have realized your true mind, your silent mind, which is your meditative mind. So that state is very beautiful. When you are in that state, it's tranquility, stillness, no activity, no movement. And that is a free mind, without thought. That is the most amazing thing that can happen to a living being. You can be in that state most of the time. You are destined for enlightenment. Because when you are in that state, it means you have already stabilized your mindfulness and you are able to maintain the ever mindful state, to observe, to see things as they are, to insight into phenomena and to awaken. And that's how wisdom comes to be. So train your mind to develop these first three support. Remember, relax, maintain awareness, then silence everything to stabilize the inner awareness. Then for those who wants to go further or who have developed the stability of inner awareness, then you can move further by developing the fourth support to locate your gateway to your nature within, so that the higher meditative movement or transformation can take place. To do the fourth support, you must first stabilize your inner awareness. Means develop the first three support until it's very stable. And when you are ready, you just silence everything and stay at the heart area. Because you already have the ability to maintain the awareness within. So the awareness that stay at the heart area will move by itself and locate the gateway for you by itself. So you just have to develop the fourth support, which is trust, T-R-U-S-T. Trust your inner nature to develop the movement, the activity. Then when you silence your mind and stay at the heart, whatever that you arise within your heart area, where your awareness can pick it up or detect, just stay with it. It can be a vibration, or your heartbeat, or whatever activity or movement that your inner awareness can detect. Whatever it detects, just silent, stay there. Allow the awareness and the activity to move, or the phenomena or the vibration or heartbeat. Just let it move on its own, and you will become very quiet, very peaceful, and very tranquil. And that is refined mindfulness. When you can do that, your mindfulness not only stabilizes further, it will develop a state where your mind enters sati. When your mind enters sati, everything you do is in sati. When you come out of it, all of your seeing, hearing, smell, taste, tactile, and even thought process, or even your kaya activity, movement, they are one with your awareness. They are all in sati. Then you will transform further. You're not only ever mindful, you are constantly meditative, in the sense that you are developing sati sampajana, mindfulness with clear comprehension of all action, all movement within the present moment. Means all of life's activity, you fully aware. You fully develop the clarity of it. Means sati sampajana is been developed until very stable. Sati is mindfulness. Sampajana is clear comprehension of what that sati is doing. Then the four type of clear comprehension will guide you, prevent you from deviation. So the four type of clear comprehension we have gone through. The first type is the clear comprehension of sincerity of purpose. You develop this mindfulness training or awareness-based meditation with a sincere mind. You are here to develop the wisdom, the understanding to understand life, the Dhamma, so that you can root out sakkaya, self-delusion, and finally avijja and all the 10 fetters that bind living being to this world. So clearly comprehending the sincerity of purpose will keep you within the meditative field. You will not deviate into psychic activity. You will not go and chase after psychic power, special meditative capability. All those are not important. Only wisdom free. So when you are sincere, you develop the sole purpose of enlightenment, awakening, the realization of truth. Then the second one is clearly comprehending the domain of practice. Means meditation can be done in the midst of life, not only in a formal posture. While in the midst of life, any place, any time, anywhere, or any the place you are, the time and locality, it can be done anywhere. Means the domain of meditation is life itself. All of your action, movement, and connecting activity within the four posture, while living life, while going through life, while working, while developing whatever activity, even training to be good in sports or whatever. All this so-called life activity can be part of meditation. Because meditation is about maintaining stability of mindfulness, the daily mindfulness. When you are mindful, ever mindful, constantly meditative, means throughout the day you are in the meditative state. So within every moment of life, existence, if you are ever mindful, constantly meditative, then you are in the meditative state. That's why the domain of meditation is very clear. You have to understand that meditation can be done 24 hours technically, and in the midst of life, in the midst of activity, in the midst of even resting, answering nature's call, whatever. That's why you look through the teaching, the four foundations of mindfulness. It's all about mindfulness of the four foundations to develop all the wisdom needed to awaken. That's why domain of meditation is very important. When you understand the domain of meditation, then you know meditation can be done throughout the day, anywhere, any place, anytime. Then the third one is clear comprehension of suitability. Suitability means the most important time is here and now. Do not procrastinate. Don't go and give reason. Oh, I wait till I retire only I meditate. No. Then the most important people are the people around you where you can interact with, share and teach or benefits. Then the other one is the most important place is the locality where you are in. Then after that, the last one is clear comprehension of non-delusion. Means you will be mindful of the 10 defilements of insight that can trap, cultivate all the way. Where these are beautiful mind state, sign of progress. But if you deludedly grasp and cling and hold on to them instead of making use of them to develop the wisdom and the understanding, then it can lead to defilement. That's why they call it the defilement of insight. It actually can give you insight, but you deludedly grasp and cling to all these states. There are 10 as described in the teaching. Okay, with this I will let you meditate on your own. I will set the alarm. You can slowly, mindfully come out of meditation. Try to maintain whatever inner peace, inner calmness and inner awareness that you have developed. And stabilize this in the midst of life. Invocation to the Devas. In this universe, in the entirety, let the deities and Devas come here. Let them hear the good teachings of the King of Sages, which gives heaven and release Nibbana. This is the time to listen to the teaching. This is the time to listen to the teaching. This is the time to listen to the teaching. Samanta Chakavalesu Atra Gachantu Devata Saddhammang Munirajasa Sunantu Sakamokkadang Dhamma Savanan Kalo Ayang Badanta Dhamma Savanan Kalo Ayang Badanta Dhamma Savanan Kalo Ayang Badanta Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Iti Peso Bhagava Arahang Samma Sambuddho Vijacharana Sampanno Sugato Lokavidu Anuttaro Purisa Dhamma Sarati Satta Deva Manusanang Buddho Bhagavati Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo Sanditiko Akaliko Ehipasiko Opanayiko Pacatang Veditabu Vinohiti Supatipanno Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho Ujupatipanno Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho Nyayapatipanno Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho Samicipatipanno Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho Yadidang Chattari Purisa Yugani Atta Purisa Pugala Esa Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho Ahuneyo Pahuneyo Dakineyo Anjali Karaniyo Anuttarang Punyang Ketang Loka Saati Sadhu Sadhu Sadhu. Okay, you all can be seated. Then we shall continue from where we stop. Okay, we are at the sutta part. Furthermore, or further, all the hungry ghosts with raging fire over their heads, with fire raging over their heads, tormented by hunger and thirst, ran about in terror and distress. So this is just the description. So the commentary say, these are hungry ghosts, having nothing to eat. The throat of the hungry ghost is as narrow as a thin needle, and its abdomen is as big as a bass drum. Even if they were to eat all day long, they would never get filled, because their bellies are too large. The top of their heads were on fire, with flame shooting to an incredible height. They had neither food to eat nor water to drink, and were extremely angry and afflicted. Panicking, they ran around pointlessly. This is the literal interpretation. So all these are the hungry ghost rhyme and all the beta rhyme. Then metaphorically, these hungry ghosts represent beings. How come they put the four formless heaven? I don't know. I don't want to comment. I don't know why they go and put it. Actually, the four formless rhyme, the beings, they live very long. Their mind are very subtle, very still, and they don't really need food to survive. Well, I don't know why they go and link it there. So they talk about the formless rhyme of infinite space, then the formless rhyme of infinite consciousness, then the formless rhyme of nothingness. Then the final one is the formless rhyme of neither perception or non-perception. Means their mind are so subtle, they neither perceive or don't perceive. It has become so subtle, so fine. That's why they can live very long, and they don't have a physical body. Anyway, I read the commentary, see what they got to say here. Although beings in these heavens have realized emptiness, not really in that sense. They don't have a physical form. Their mind are so still, so quiet, but they don't have the wisdom. They don't have the penetrative Dhamma wisdom that can enable them to realize even the sainthood way, the sainthood awakening of first stage, second stage, third stage, and the fourth stage of Arahantaship. These are still beings that develop the jhana until the formless jhana. Then they take birth up there. They believe personally that this is the ultimate state. That's why a lot of this type of cultivator, through wrong view, delusion, they actually make aspiration to develop that type of jhana, stabilize it, and hope to take birth after they are passing away, so that they can live very long. And they believe that without the physical form, no suffering, and they live very long. They thought that is the ultimate, but it's still within the 31 plane of existence. Okay, I read on. Although beings in this formless rhyme have ignored that part, realize emptiness. Actually, they feel that they have realized the ultimate understanding. That's why they believe they can take birth there. And only have consciousness left. That's why they don't have a physical form. But they have not ended birth and death. Means they have not developed the wisdom to break free from the 10 fetters. Having yet to attain the nourishment of the state of freedom from outflow, means this one is cessation of form and mind, realizing Nibbana. They are in this respect similar to hungry ghosts who have nothing to eat or drink. Maybe in that sense, but the analogy is definitely not correct. So maybe Xuanhua meant it in that sense, because when you are in those rhymes, they are very subtle, the mind state. It's like your mind has become so subtle, so fine, but it has not developed the wisdom. They have not ended birth and death. But that mind state can allow them to live for very long. They are talking about many, many aeons. I think the highest rhyme is about 80,000 aeons. Their lifespan is very, very long. Even the first formless rhyme of infinite space, that one also, I think, if I'm not wrong, is quite a number of aeons, world cycle. Okay, then I read on. So in the 3 rhymes, the rhyme of sensual desire, the form rhyme, and the formless rhyme. The 4 formless rhymes are the highest heaven. Even so, the beings there have not ended birth and death and are still subject to birth and death. Or they put here, still subject to impermanence. They are still burned by the fire of impermanence. This is the analogy. This is what is meant by with raging fire over their head. So in the heavens of neither perception or non-perception, the longest heavenly lifespan is 80,000 aeons. Yeah, correct. This is some more Mahakapas, great aeons. However, when these beings exhaust their heavenly blessings, they will fall again into other destiny and take various type of rebirth. Because they will fall, they are still subject to the universal characteristics of impermanence. So here again they use the analogy, they are burned by the universal characteristics of impermanence, like hungry ghosts whose heads are on fire. This is not real fire, rather is the analogy, because they are still subject to birth and death. In fact, they cannot see the danger of it. What does hunger mean in this context? Since they have not acquired the food of the proper path, means the friction, the genuine path of cultivation that leads to the ending of birth and death. That's why they are still hungry, or they still haven't received the food that can give rise to awakening wisdom. They had not quenched their thirst either. They had not obtained the drink or juice of the aids to the path. Once cultivation of the path is facilitated by causes and conditions that are referred to as aids to the path, they are akin to the tea or juice one drinks when one is thirsty. Since they had not obtained the drinks of the aids to the path, they were thirsty. Although living beings in the four formless rhymes are at the summit of the three rhymes, they are still vexed by the 8 kinds of suffering at the subtlest level. These sufferings remain in their 8 consciousness and oppress them, so they are described as tormented. So this one is just a commentary's description. But as far as my understanding goes, if you develop all these jhana and you have those type of subtle mind state, you don't really suffer in a similar way as the beings in the sensual rhyme, especially the 4 willful state, and also the lower Deva rhymes, the 6 Deva rhymes and the 16 Brahma rhymes. Their Maya are more subtle. So this one, I think, is their description. It's not really that their consciousness are being tormented and they put inverted comma. It's not really that. Otherwise they won't live so long. Because of wrong view, delusion, and they did not develop the wisdom to liberate their mind, to see the unreality of life and existence, to insight into phenomena, to realize the 3 universal characteristics of anicca, dukkha, and anatta, thereby realizing that the conditioned world's Dhamma, they are not the true understanding that can lead to liberation of mind from the phenomenal world of consciousness. So that delusion, that avijja, trapped them. And because of that, they have this, what they call, karmic seed that can lead to karmic reappearing after they finish their lifespan up there. They will keep on falling. It seems, if I am not wrong, this was like Reverend Suvano, he described one of the Jaraka story when the Buddha actually went up to the Brahma. The Brahma is actually, there are 16 Brahma rhymes up there. The Maha Brahma, which I think the Hindus and the Indians, mainly the Hindu teaching, they believe in the God, Maha Brahma, the creator. And at that rhyme, he really believed he's the creator. But he saw all those down there, and he know that they are below him, and their birth is dependent on him and all those things. Because he's like, he can do a lot of things up there. So he believed he is all powerful. He's the creator and all those things. But then, because there is condition for him to develop the enlightenment, it seems Sakyamuni Buddha went up there and counsel him, teach him, and try to let him understand what happened. So finally Sakyamuni explained to him that you actually were from the formless rhyme long ago, but you have started to fall after that period. They call it the blessing that you receive, that you're supposed to experience. But after that, because you don't have the wisdom, enlightenment, and the awakening, that's why you cannot realize Nibbana and cease. You cannot transcend birth and death. And because of that, the karmic process continues. So from the formless rhyme, they fall until they reach the form rhyme, Brahma rhyme. Then they continue to fall until the third Brahma rhyme. Then, according to the Buddha, if you don't develop the wisdom, meditate and transform, you will continue to fall until finally you may also go down to the hell rhyme again, if you are not careful. And so, because of that, he actually took the advice, and he actually managed to cultivate, and it was predicted that he will gain enlightenment. So all this, even the formless and the form rhyme, although their lifespan are long, but these are not liberation. These are not states that can lead to ending of birth and death. But there is 5 of this rhyme in the form rhyme. They call it the Brahma rhyme. They call it the pure abode. Means where the enlightened one, the anagami, they take birth up there. So that one, after they pass away, they are called non-returner. They don't return to the sensual rhyme. They will realize arahantaship to become arahant before their lifespan pass. Yeah. So that 5 rhyme is unique. That one won't fall and return to take birth in the other lower rhyme and continue with the birth and death, samsara cycle, karmic cycle. Okay, I'll read on. Furthermore, they still have all kinds of delusion. This one is true. Cause delusion, subtle delusion, and delusion as innumerable as dust and sand. Their delusion, here they somehow say few and subtle, contradicting themselves. Even so, the roots of this delusion have yet to be severed, which is true, because they have not been uprooted. The remaining delusion, though few, will increase in number when these beings in the rhyme of the formless fall into the lower rhyme in the future. Specifically, those delusions include delusion arising from incorrect views, delusion arising from incorrect thought, and delusion of ignorance, avijja. So delusion arising from incorrect view are the desire that arise when faced with perceived object. Delusion arising from incorrect thought are the discrimination created due to confusion about the principles. Delusion of ignorance refer to being oblivious and foolish. For example, although something is obviously wrong or clearly bad, one still decides to do it. Why? Because one does not understand that it is evil or bad. Because such delusion exists, one is vexed and afflicted. What's more, living beings in the four formless rhyme are still in samsara, but they do not want to find a way to end birth and death and leave the three rhyme. Not wanting to leave the four formless rhyme, they ran about in terror and distress. So this is the metaphor. It's not the actual run in terror, or it's a metaphor. Because of ignorance, delusion, they are trapped there. This completes the description of how things are in the three rhymes. Means the sensual rhyme, the form rhyme, and the formless rhyme. Okay, further. Okay, next part of the sutta. The situation in that house was terrifying in the extreme, rampant with malicious dangers and conflagration. It was beset by many different calamities, not just one. So the commentaries, the situation in that house was terrifying in the extreme. Then continue, we go to a commentary. The burning house, as stated above, was a dangerous place. This means that there is no peace in the three rhyme. Burning house had many other hazards as well as the fire. The calamities that beset its inhabitants were of more than one kind. This implies that in the long run, if we stay in the burning house of the three rhyme, but do not cultivate and find a way out, it will be extremely dangerous and frightening. There are many perils or danger. If you do not run into one kind of disaster, you will encounter another. There is not a single blissful day in this world. We should ask ourselves, where is there peace in the world? The answer is nowhere. There are troubles everywhere, and many things are beyond our control. Several thousand years ago, the Buddha revealed the current situation in this world, that of many different calamities. This one maybe I have to explain a bit. It is not what the commentary is telling you. You see, when you go through life, when you understand life, even though we have the 31 plane of existence, but it doesn't mean that all these are suffering, misery or what. No. In fact, in the sutta, various part of the sutta is mentioned, even in the Therakuta Sutta, they talk about the petas, how's their life down there. Then the general teaching is when you are born below the human rhyme, including the demon rhyme, then the animal rhyme, then we have the peta rhyme, then the hell rhyme. The hell rhyme is very severe. Then immense suffering, because it's hell, unending suffering, where you have to pay back. And it's very, very severe. In the Jataka story, I think it was mentioned, there was one Jataka story where the Buddha, to be that time was a bodhisattva. Early on he was king for many lives. And because as a king you also involved instruction to kill and all those things. So he entangled himself with some of this karmic thing. And he, during one of those lives, he has to immediately take birth in hell. And he suffered so much. Maybe some commentaries mention that he would choose to go down because he wanted to learn and find out. Then what happened was, after a long period of hell rhyme, they describe very long. And suddenly he got chance to be reborn again as a human being. And this time again as a prince. Then he also know already he don't want to become a king, because the tendency is to get entangled with all those things. And the mother that time became a deva, a deva. And the mother advised him, you remember the past birth? How you suffer and all things? He said, yeah. He said, you must decide what your life is. So he pretend to be like very, they call what? Like he don't want the king to like find out that he is good and he will become the future king and all things. Actually, the king liked him, but he pretend to be like, I think in our term, gong, so. Then like the limbs and leg all like cannot move like that, like useless. So the king also finally gave up. They tested him. They find him actually no more meaning. Can no hope of getting him to become the king or take over the throne. So they actually send him off. And then he became an ascetic. He went to the forest. Then he meditated, he cultivated. It seems during that life, he as a hermit inside the forest, he went through the perfection of Kanti, patience. Then the king of Kosala or what, I think the concubine or they met him, find him very amusing. So he was the one that later on became Konanya, first to be taken across. So the story were all there. So it's only in the hell realm where you really suffer. Then in the Terakuta Sutta also is mentioned how the hell realm people suffer. He said, what we see as suffering here on earth, he told that king, the analogy, you caught a criminal, a hardcore criminal, let's say, murder, kill, do a lot of nonsense. Then how do you punish him? He asked the king. He said, your various type of punishment is nothing compared to hell, is it? He said, you go to hell, even the Petarai, he said, the misery that they suffer is actually you cannot understand. He said, they will like spear you in the morning. Don't get how many soldiers to spear you, but you cannot die on. Not like on the earth, right, where you can die. You cannot die or no. Then they will leave you there. Then afternoon, drag you out again, spear you again, then put you in again. Day in and day out. He said that type of suffering, if you do it, let's say on earth, the person who suffer, that go through that type of suffering, is nothing compared to what they suffer in the hell, right? So you just imagine you dare to go down there. No? So hell is really miserable. Well, the three evil roots of greed, hatred, and delusion, they commit until very severe already. In our Hokkien dialect, is gao already. Means you really have to go down there to pay back and all those things. Whereas once you come out of there in the Peta rhyme, the hungry ghost rhyme, although it's described, your throat like very thin, belly very big, cannot eat. Those that they depict in the drawing, some of this Chinese tradition or culture, they have this drawing, the various type of hell and all those things. Then the hungry ghost, right? This one, not only you cannot eat, no, because he said like needle, like Shenhua gave as an analogy or example. You like try to eat, but your throat is so small, but the belly always hungry, because these are called Peta rhyme in the sense that animal rhyme is delusion. This, what they call the demon rhyme, is anger. The evil root of anger very strong. Then you take birth in the demon rhyme. Then the animal rhyme is born of ignorance. You've got a lot of ignorant delusion, you will be born. But the worst one is Peta rhyme. That one is selfishness. When you are selfish, when you cheat people, deceive people, take advantage of you, then the karmic is, you want to eat, you cannot eat. Even food given to them. It was mentioned in one of the, I think, during the Buddha's time. They call it the what? That's how the Hungry Ghost Festival come about, Chikepua. It seems this Sariputta, foremost in psychic, he saw the parent, I think, they were in hell. So he wanted to go down and help the mother, I think it's a mother. They call Mongalana, Muliana. Our Chinese culture also, we got this film show, Mulian Jiu Mu, went down and said, he used his psychic, went down, search for the mother, then try to help her. He used the psychic to create the food. The moment the mother want to eat, it's like red molten iron, burning the mother's mouth and all that. Then Sakyamuni Buddha is saw, not by this way, is it? Your psychic got no use down there, is it? So what you must do is make offering to the Sangha. The Sammasambuddha and his follower, means the Sangha of Sammasambuddha, make offering, transfer merits. These are more tangible, more effective. That's how the Terakuta Sutta come about. And it come about because of the group of people that mismanaged the Katina for the previous Sammasambuddha. Then they were sent down to hell for so long until they come up, they got no more relative. Then Mahakassapa, that time the Buddha, I think, predicted that there will be one king, is it, during the next Buddha's time, Sakyamuni Buddha's time. He said that guy related to you. So they waited so long for him to arrive. Then Sakyamuni Buddha taught him how to transform it. Then by then they already Peta rhyme. They are out of the hell rhyme already. So you see, this Peta rhyme is described in the Terakuta Sutta. Their society is not like ours or no. You got no career, no job or no. You cannot work or no. No field for you to plow, merchandise, and do all those things. Not like our human rhyme, where you got a lot of opportunity. Of course, there are also the negative part, the human rhyme, drug trafficking, those people who are selfish, greedy, warmonger, all those things. Of course, it's a mixture. But there is such a thing as favorable rhyme with a lot of good things. So what happened is, in the Peta rhyme, you cannot get a job, you cannot do farming, you cannot do plowing, you cannot even do business and all those things. Don't have career already. The only thing you survive on is wait for your departed, you have to be the departed relative of those living up there. And they must share merit with you, transfer merit to you. Then only you receive. Well, you cannot work. You cannot receive anything. That's why it's depicted that Chikwepoa, that they release all this 1 hour, then you all make offering. Because the tradition has evolved until it has gone the wrong way. It's supposed to make offering to the enlightened sanghas and all those things, or cultivator of the way, so that you can transfer merit and share merits, so that they can receive. But instead nowadays you see They go and burn paper house. Even handphone also they burn. And the hell note also, they print until the denomination is hundreds of millions. So all this type are deviation from the teaching. Is we call it traditional belief. And people, because can make money, they turn it into a popular business. So a lot of this is based on superstition belief. Then you go, you buy, then you follow everybody do. Then you even buy a place. Yeah? They call it the graveyard or what, where they sell you by lot or not. That one more expensive than the most expensive property in town. Then you go by square inch, not square foot. And some they do multi-story, keep as urn, the ash and all those things. So these are the things that people do. But don't be mistaken. Don't go and say all these are, because this is society. Society evolves, and people want to have peace of mind. So sometimes they feel good. Yes, it look like very professionally run, like Nirvana, all those things. Sometimes you have to credit them. If you don't have this, you have to do the normal one. You also pay money, but some, for simplicity and maybe for peace of mind or what, they will do all this. But you have the Dhamma, you will know what to do, because more important is the cultivation. When you have the cultivation, the understanding, you can do a lot of wholesomeness without having to spend actually much money. And most of it comes from your understanding, your wisdom, your Dhamma, your compassion, your love, your generosity, your sincerity, your Dhamma understanding. So whenever you develop the Noble Eightfold Path, the cultivation, then you follow the advice of the Buddha to keep the precept, avoid all evil, you go and purify. Your merits that is generated is so much more than all those things that people do that have not much relevance to the actual nature's law that govern all this. It's just like feng shui. Doesn't mean feng shui doesn't have its science. It has. But it only contributes very little to the actual understanding. Because like the Buddha say, we are all born our karma, heir to our karma, conditions supported by we are what we are because karma. If you don't take care of karma, you believe all this, you go and do all this, I wish you luck. Because not much, very little. But you cannot deny that there are signs behind feng shui. Man and nature must harmonize. So if you know how the harmony of nature is, the chi flow, everything, then you know about the feng shui aspect. Then it can actually help you initially. Like you buy a locality, a property where the air very fresh, the fishes all alive, the chi is good, and that's not. But if you don't take care of karma, it's just like your merits. It's like your bank account, okay? If you don't develop the wholesomeness, the merits, all things, then your bank account got not much money, But you stay in a lavish area where you have all the good chi, everything, where you use up all your merits and money. Then after that, no more money. Good chi, good locality also cannot have you. Well, you don't have the means to stay there. Then all the nonsense that you have done, you will get entangled with. Despite the locality and all those things. It's about karma ultimately. It's like junction house. Junction house is a flow path for chi, good and bad also there. So if you don't cultivate, you don't have the good karma, the negative chi come, you sure entangle, and where karmic wise, you got a lot of that nonsense waiting for you. But the wholesome karma, you don't have much. So the good chi come, you cannot tap into it. You cannot use it to help you in your cultivation and understanding and promote the good life. So because of that, in the Cantonese, I think, the dialect, they got this sentence, sao hei. You understand? Means you don't have the good karma to receive the good merits. That's sao hei. So all the nonsense one you have. And most living beings that don't cultivate, they are like that. That's why without the Dhamma, actually, a lot of suffering. Yeah. But it doesn't mean that every rhyme you suffer. No. Different rhyme you suffer differently. But the hell rhyme and pitta rhyme is terrible, I tell you. Yeah. But like I always joke and say, if you got kayaminta, you don't worry. Even born in the pitta rhyme, very fast you come out. Every now and then they will be around and share merits and so like that. Idang mi nyati nang ho tu. You sure rejoice and you will come out. That's all. But don't hope for that. You can avoid going down there. Means develop your cultivation, develop the understanding. Otherwise, not easy. When you are down there, I tell you, you will experience all those things. And these are the reality that need to be understood, but it's not explained in the commentary. Then for those who keep their minimum 5 precepts, chances is you will be born as Devas, the Deva rhyme, the first 6 Deva rhyme, then even born as human. In fact, as a human being, you are really very blessed already. You must have sufficient merits to be born as a human being, to be out of the 4 willful state. But most of these that take birth as human, they got a mixture of karmic. But dependent on the era, the civilization and all those things, human beings that take birth in the human rhyme, you can see, that's why I say, ours is the golden era. Every decade is so beautiful, and now with the advent of AI, the new possibility is fantastic. If you don't believe me, you witness the next 5, 10, 15 and 20 years, we will go through a lot of progress, a lot of things that can come about where maybe 5 years ago, 10 years ago, the civilization at that time can never imagine that these are possible. Now, not only we have autonomous driving, the day I think Sui, they all were joking, the plane also autonomous, no pilot, no, fly by itself. But they got fighter jet that is autonomous already now. A lot of these are getting more. Then AI, now AI learning, generative AI has made a lot of things possible. Last time what we gone through, like Google Translate, we thought fantastic already. Actually, there is the primitive version of generative AI. That one just recognize the language and translate on it. Just one. Now with the advent of technology, this AI can learn very fast. They call it AI learning. Now you can feed them with a lot of things, and they got the parallel processing. Different from last time, the processing is all like linear, one by one. Now it's parallel, and now they can compute so fast. They can develop all the what they call technology to improve the what we call the internet speed, the calculation and all those things. It has made a lot of things possible now. Even remote surgery. Now they even talk about that type of learning that they teach all this AI until they can do the research better than the researcher that you pay and hire with very high salary. Because they learn by themselves and they become very good. So all this learning and computation power has become so fast. Last time, the R&D for vaccine, all those things, take very long. Because even now the protein type, they want to decipher the DNA or something. Last time take very long because the computation speed is too slow. Now they got supercomputer, quantum computing and all, and they can do so fast. They can come out with the drugs and all those things so fast now. That's why everything will become cheaper and faster. Then with the robotic, all the things, you will be witnessing a lot of new things that you never dream of it being possible. Even now, after the last 4 or 5 decades, we feel that we are very blessed already. Handphone, smartphone, and all those things. And a lot of things that is possible now, even EV car, all those things. But this is supposed to be the preliminary phase and stage of what AI is all about. So this AI learning and breakthrough and all those things, those who are in this field, who know about this, because recently somehow all this video come to me. Then I was thinking, what is all this? As I was telling Suya, I'm a civil engineer, I don't understand IT. But they through the sharing, the video, all those things, the interview, all that, they explain until so simple, until I also can understand now. So it's an application now. And you only need to prompt the ChatGPT or DeepSeek or whatever. And there's a lot of this learning module the AI module. And they actually learn through phases Then they evolve. It's just like when you progress, society develop the need for certain solution, where you need that solution for that progress. Then the R&D and the scientists, they will go and do all this research. And now, there are a lot of very smart people in so many fields, simultaneously developing it. And you can see the breakthrough and the progress is going to be fantastic, very, very fast. So all this is what I mean by, it doesn't mean that you are born as a human being, like what is described then, whether suffering or what, because he said, you don't break the fetters or you suffer. No, there is such thing as the like golden era where you get to experience and maybe live that type of life. They call it the indulgence of the senses. Means the now sensuality of our society has transformed until you have the money and the means. You not only can travel, you can have good food, good, I should say, housing condition and all things. And you can experience so many things. And this is really life. And our society is going through that, and many people can have that type of good life because they have generated that type of not only commerce or banking or whatever. In fact, the human mind, I tell you, although it's just human, but the result of the human mind, all this AI, IT, computer, all those things, they have revolutionized the way society evolved, and it has become so fast. And all this is going to happen. That's why I said technology is here to stay. It's the use of technology. You cannot keep up with it. You don't have the good karma. Of course, you also will get into trouble. But there are moments in life where you have the good karma and the condition to receive all this and experience all this. That's why there is such possibility. But with the Dhamma, you really become wonderful. You really become exceptional. Means despite all this that can entangle living beings' mind and create the karmic conditioning or karmic repercussion or thing, because you have the Dhamma, you can live it, and you don't have to experience all the negative part. That's why you can live the third phase of Dhamma, which is, they call it Pativeda. You get to reap the benefits of your hard work, the cultivation, all those things, and live the life of an enlightened being, and yet can keep pace with the progress, the science, the understanding, everything. That's why a lot of these beings that come, they may not be spiritual in the sense that you think they meditate, they take on the spiritual costume. No, they can be technical people, scientists, who contribute to society. They are actually bodhisattvas in a different field, understand? They serve different segment, different sector. That's why some they do different things. But the one that can do this very well are the true cultivator of the way that have the Dhamma understanding. Yeah. So all these things are evolving and happening. That's why if you look at what we are going through, we are really blessed in the sense that it is the golden era, the golden age. Every decade, a lot of beautiful thing is happening. Maybe I have to stop. Another day we continue. I go back to the notes. I have to end already. 9:50, 51 already. Oh, okay, we end here. Well, the next one is about the specific analogy. Okay, I mark this page. Then we have a 3-minute toilet break. After that, we continue with our second session. Okay. So now we come back to our second session, which is meditation reporting, followed by whatever question you may have. Then after that, we can do whatever sharing we want on either today's topic or the Dhamma that you have learned and developed the understanding, Dhamma in daily life, so that we can develop the sharing among ourselves.
Good evening, Brother Teo,
yes.
Mrs. Teo, and all Karita. Brother Teo, 就是 last Thursday 我讲我的 Tuesday experience. 今天他继续的在 open up.
Sadhu, very good.
这一次他很清楚的，就是你知道就是你 observe 到他开。然后你增加一个 awareness 罢了，
对，
什么都没有，
什么都没有的。That's why it's finally only that pure awareness nature. But that is the one that arises. We call it the primordial. Every form of mind that comes, the first thing to come out is that one, that pure awareness nature, and that is not a being. No, that one cannot come out and live life. No, that one is not you. No. But every form of mind that arises will have that. And from there, all consciousness and creation arise. That's why the one that the Buddha talked about, the mundane mind, the mano, that one is a manifestation from that pure nature. That's why you have the understanding already. Then you will understand the sutta very clearly. Especially the Mahayana Sutta, the Diamond Sutta, even the Heart Sutta, all this, they all come from that nature's understanding. That's why I used to share with you all. If you silence your mind and develop the pure awareness within, the stability of sati, then you can understand my sharing, my teaching arises from that nature. It's through that pure awareness nature that insight into phenomena awaken, and it's silently observed. Then the silent observation of the reality of what is happening give rise to wisdom and understanding. And from there, all the sutta that mention, even the 5th patriarch when he spoke to the 6th patriarch Huineng, after he asked him to meet up with him at his chamber, then immediately when he reached the part on the Diamond Sutta, Hui Neng came to great awakening. Then he expressed the amazing joy and understanding. He said how amazing that all Dhamma is never apart from that nature. And that nature is already complete by itself. And no need to add anything or deduct anything. But that is the beauty of the nature. That's why from there, all things arise. And he used the word, no, how amazing is it that all Dhamma arise from there. Means whatever that is truth or reality manifests from there. Even the mano, the mundane mind, that's why the stages of creation, from there it create the form and mind. The form and mind with the senses create the phenomenal world of consciousness. Then you have to meditate to return to the pure awareness nature, then develop the wisdom and let it cease. Then only you can realize the source. That's why all cultivators will come to know, finally it's just the pure awareness. And that one is not you, always remember. It's just a nature inside, understand? But the form and mind that manifests through the karmic process is different. That's why Alicia will come to know, and all this understanding will be more and more clear, more and more stable later on as they continue this way. In fact, the Bodhisattva, when they start off, a lot of things they still don't know. That's why they need to cultivate, meet out with all the great beings, develop affinity. Then you learn all this, then you understand all this. Yeah. But the teaching is so wonderful, so amazingly wonderful and beautiful. That's why you must have faith to develop this understanding, the cultivation. That's just silent. Actually, it's very simple. You just silent and let that nature arise. Because all those things that manifest from there are condition arising phenomena. You know what is condition arising phenomena? They are dependent originating on mind make are they, where they are within the Sankata world, or what we call the conditioned world. Because conditioned world need causes and condition for things to arise. That's why it is a condition arising world, dependent originating phenomena. Yeah. And everything that arises, there are causes and conditions behind. Otherwise, they cannot manifest. Well, this is the conditioned world. Each year you wait for. So once you penetrate this, you will penetrate the mind. Then you realize you got two minds. One is a pure awareness nature, which doesn't talk, doesn't verbalize, doesn't chatter, doesn't react to and create all the emotion. All those that move, they are the result of delusion, most of the time. But once the Dhamma is there, the realization is there, the understanding is there, then you can make use of this understanding to live life. And once that one take over and live life, there is no more avijja, no more delusion, no more ignorance, no more suffering, nothing. And then you can get to live the wonderful existence as per what the Heart Sutta said. And that is the third phase of Dhamma. That's why this teaching is very wonderful. Yeah. Very good. Continue. But now she starts to get the understanding clearer and clearer and deeper. Well, ultimately, there is nothing one. That's why you can really, when the pure awareness nature is there, you can go and find out and investigate. You try to understand. You have to create a thought to develop the concept. Otherwise, you cannot understand. Then, when you really silence everything and just find out, in fact, nothing inside there. Once you create something, it's already the thought, not that nature already. That nature, actually, like what Hui Neng came to realize, 本来无一物. Originally, there was nothing before the creation. It's just that pure awareness nature, and that is part of nature. But from there, all things arise. That's why that part of the consciousness without the content, the pure nature, that one the scientists cannot understand because they don't meditate. They don't have the pure awareness, understanding to penetrate that field. And that field is the one that is responsible for all the mystery of our universe. Actually, if you are a technical person or a scientist, you will be really amazed by what the universe is all about. How all this creation is all about. Because not only our planet orbit around the sun. No. The sun together with the planet, the whole thing, orbit against another center which is somewhere in the, they call what? A very dense part in our Milky Way. Inside there is what is the name of it? Amorana, Dana, or that. There is a very big black hole there, no? And all this is going around that one, no? And you know how long it takes our sun together with the planet, the moon. You see, the moon move around our earth, okay? You understand? Then we are moving in space, going around the sun, at a very high speed, But we sit here, we doesn't know that we are in movement in space, Then every planet is doing it. Then against the sun, and this whole thing is moving around another very big, they call it, it's like a very big black hole in the center of the Milky Way, where the thing is evolved. And this one is an expanding universe, and it's moving away and yet moving around. And the whole thing, even that black hole, is also moving. And it seems they can calculate for our solar system, our sun and the planet, to go around one circle around that black hole. You know how long it takes? A few 100 million years. And you can never understand that at the quantum level, even the digital level, we call it the chips, the semiconductor, all that. You know, they process so fast, and it's such a small thing. The power of processing and all those things, that's why you cannot understand. It's all technology and all those things. And a lot involved in the consciousness aspect. But now they try to understand what is consciousness. How consciousness come about? How come living being can become conscious? So there is a lot of theory now. They are trying to find out from the brain and all those things why with the brain you can become conscious. But actually it's not the brain alone, with the senses, everything. And they now, because of the fast computation, they can detect that type of DNA or don't know what that is responsible for the brain. The brain is like a very sophisticated network of don't know what. They got names for it. It's not only neurons and all those things, but a lot of things inside there. And this is like a miniature of the universe movement and operation. That's why the human body is very unique, and the consciousness is also very unique. And when you know how to meditate and develop insight, the movement is even more unique. And the mystery of all this, even the scientists also, they all, I think, salute nature. But the more they know, the more they don't know. Because there are a lot of new things arise. Then after they know something, they realize what they have known is just the tip of the iceberg beneath. And the understanding is a lot more. Even now, we think we progress so fast, so advanced. But the enormous discovery Last time, Hubble telescope, we already thought very powerful, can see a lot of things. Now they got the Webb one, Webb or what, the new one. James Webb. That one can see even further and clearer. And China is going to make one, a bigger one. I tell you, when this observation all become possible, they can actually come up with a lot of understanding. They don't have to fly there. And they are talking about the universe expanding some of their mind. The one that we can see and perceive, because the fastest entity is the speed of light. Those that have moved away faster than the speed of light, there is no way we can see them anymore. So he said, our observable universe is just so small, so minute, and yet it's so immense. Means what is beyond the boundary that we cannot observe, that is completely exists. They know exists, but you cannot observe. And you don't know what is happening inside there. No? Then in the black hole, now they also try to get the theory that Einstein came out with, the wormhole. Because you can never travel faster than the speed of light. The only way to reach all this distant galaxy that is off boundary, means away from our observable universe, is to through this black hole. And the wormhole is the one that's supposed to connect. And they even know what are the material that you need to create this wormhole. But now technology is not there yet, cannot create this one yet. It seems some of the physicists, they are speculating that in time to come, the human species will have the technology to break through into all this and develop all this possibility. That's why a lot of things we see as science fiction, one day it can become a living reality. And it is happening so fast now. That's why this is a unique golden era. We not only able to see all this, just imagine our civilization technically is only 5,000 to 6,000 years of recorded history. Understand that? And 5,000-6,000 compared to they can date the planet, our Earth, half-life through all the thing. They know our Earth is at least 4.5 to 6 billion years old. But our civilization recorded is only 5 to 6,000. Cannot be this is the only civilization, is it? So they postulate there's a lot more. But even this civilization, the last 5 to 6,000, let's say 6,000, the last 5,900 over years, we are still very backward. Let's say 1950s or 1940, the Second World War. We are still very backward now, education, everything. But the last 80 years, we have transformed and progressed so fast now. And actually the last 40 years was the most fantastic. If you look back, the 5,000-6,000 years, 90% of the time, we are not evolving at all. No? We just slowly progress. But with the advent in technology and all those things, especially the IT revolution, the AI now taking over also, it's going to speed up all this understanding and transformation very, very fast. It's not only, last time the progress is like inflation, 3%, 5%. Now it's like how many thousand-fold faster, even calculation, everything, the speed. The amount of progress, you cannot imagine now. And these things are computing so fast with the data and all those things. That's why now the younger generation, they can also go cuckoo if they cannot follow. Because the mind has to adjust and evolve. Then because of this happening, a lot of this new generation of humans, I call humans, they have to have this karma to be born during this era. No? Understand? And most of these kids are now, they say, good life, Homage. My mother used to tell my eldest brother, he said, you all Homage already, during their time in China, how they suffer. Then my brother tell him back, my son lagi Homage, I said the next generation. Then now my grandchildren lagi Homage. Because it's relative. Because at that time, civilization have not evolved. We are not so advanced. But I consider myself, that's why I used to share with you in the early days, that we are so blessed. We are not only born in the sasana, no. We are living in the golden era, no. Where every decade, I like to come in transition period, and I like to see the most one. That's why I realized, everything fall into place. And all this, you just imagine, to be born as a human being, this segment, you have this type of condition to witness all this. And not only that, I reached the pinnacle of not only the golden era for civilization, the cultivation also. I reached the pinnacle of the cultivation that I need to understand. That's why with all this unfolding, you realize it really is great, great blessing. Otherwise you cannot experience this type of life, this type of existence, even maybe 80 years or 80 plus a bit. But it's fantastic. And to have all this, and especially the last, ever since I retired, 2001, the last 20 over years, I think 24, coming to 25 years, I get to live life and understand so many things, that I have the means to travel, to live it, and to do what I want, and to be with my family, having all this, and to have the condition for the kayamita to be developed into what it is today with the website and everything. And these are the things that will manifest when causes and conditions are there. And even for you all, really great blessing to be in this civilization, experiencing all this, having the Dhamma, born a human, and have good family and all those things, good life. It's really wonderful existence. So all this, hopefully with all this sharing, you all can develop the understanding. They have a lot of joy, a lot of gratitude, and continue to have faith to go this way, to cultivate, so that in future when you come, a lot of more beautiful things can arise. The possibility is unending. You better continue, Alicia. Sorry.
Brother, 他就你又好像什么都没有，但是你又好像 one with 这个整个。
Yeah, 整个宇宙 the oneness.
Yeah.
The thing is like that. You actually, when you look at it, that one is not you. You are actually nothing. That's why I always say, you are nothing. You are nobody. Because it's not you. Understand? But yet, because of that, all this understanding become possible. All this manifestation and evolution of life and existence become possible. That's why it's so amazing. You are nothing, and yet you are everything. Because of this understanding and possibility of further learning and awakening. And that nature that go this way after you connect inside, there's a lot more thing you can understand, and you can realize and see a lot more. And you can come to understand, no wonder the Bodhisattva way is like that. It took so long, but so beautiful. You know. I give you one example, then you will know. Compared to the formless rhyme, they also live very long. Is there any life there? Because their mind state like no movement, nothing. Here is different. You take the Bodhisattva, also aeons and aeons and aeons unending. But every coming is so beautiful, so full of excitement. Your mind is not so down, tranquil, quiet up there. That to me is not life, not existence. That's why you can choose where you want to be born. That's why I never want to touch all the jhana, but otherwise I end up there. Maybe to experience some of the existence is okay, which I believe my nature has done it before. But enough. Because that actually to me is the most beautiful, most exciting and most, I should say, wonderful one is still the human life. The human life. Not so much of the Deva rhyme, Brahma rhyme also. The Deva rhyme also not bad actually, but the human rhyme is the best, where you can see everything here, the good and the bad. And if you train your mind and develop your cultivation, you can really end up as Sammasambuddha, and with all the all-knowing understanding. But if you do not cultivate and allow it to fall, you can go down to the hell rhyme, where it's the two extremes. We call it the Tua Ho Tua Pai, immense good and evil. And the karmic that one takes depends on one's mind, how you actually live it, how you use it to live life. So, advice of the Buddha is very good. Avoid all evil, do good, purify the mind. And that is the most direct, simplest. And take care of life, take care of karma. Karma take care of your existence and your whatever future. So all this, they actually interconnected. And the understanding, once it's there, you know what to do. And you will become like, guarantee all your future taken care of. With this life understanding, you take the Bodhisattva way, you follow the yellow card, you develop all the understanding and aditan. Then every life you come, all this understanding will follow you. That's why it's very, very amazingly wonderful and beautiful. Continue.
But you actually, 现在我开始明白为什么我们一定要在世间法里面去悟到那个处世间。对，因为只有在世间法里面，你的所谓的 sixth sense 怎么样的去 receive， 然后怎么样的去 react， 然后从那边你去明白到，就是因为我们的这个 sixth sense 跟那个 five aggregate， you know。bring 我们去那个所谓的山河大地，全部一切 manifestation。所以因
为这个无明啊，不是人造成的 is the what they call mundane mind that entangle itself and get into trouble. Where is not knowing the truth. Not knowing the truth means you cannot use the mundane mind or thinking mind to continue to develop the analysis, reasoning, search and all those things and live that way of life. You have to silence and return to that pure awareness nature and develop the understanding and the wisdom to understand life and to live life. That's why that is the difficult part of cultivation, that most living beings cannot do it. They got lost in the thought process and they got very excited over possibility of like the worldly success and all those things. They are drawn by the phenomenal world of consciousness, the greed for wealth, money, for maybe you call what esteem and all things, when you become famous and all those things. So they are drawn, especially the new generation of kids. They want to be successful, they want to be famous, they want to develop all those, what they call, things that benefit them so that they can, to them, is the good life. They equate that, especially materialistic success, as their ultimate aim in life. But then when they confront OA sickness and the reality of the First Noble Truth, then they realize without wisdom, they are still stuck. Then the karmic process entangle them when they do wrong thing. So like you come to realize it's very good, the sixth sense door. Where from the awareness, you start to understand how you function as a human being. Then you start to understand what this form and mind is all about. It's not a permanent unchanging entity. It's not real. It's not you. That's why ultimately you realize, hey, no you, hey, no me. No beings, nothing. Everything is just dependent, originating, condition, arising, causal phenomena. As real it can be, it's only the moment. Split second is gone. Split second is gone. And mind make adi, just consciousness. The pure awareness as a receptacle with its content, which is your brain, your views, your opinion, conditioning, and memory that went in, that created the karmic conditioning, then the karmic process evolves and moves. And when you don't have this pure awareness nature to develop the wisdom and understanding, then you are drawn. That's why mind is the forerunner of all things, mind is chief. When mind arises, all things arise. So the Buddha used the analogy, mind make a day, all drawn from there, from that nature. It manifests the mundane thinking, the samsaric process and all those things. So to see this, to awaken to this, is cultivation, is the realization that the form and mind is not you. It goes the way of nature. It, like all things, all phenomena in this existential world or condition arising world, they are dependent, originating phenomena, not a permanent unchanging entity. You cannot grasp, you cannot cling, and you cannot say, this is me, this is I, therefore all this can be. No. He know you, he know me. Then who own anything? Nothing. That's why the Buddha said, only the fools lament, for their very body also don't belong to him. Then wherein son, wherein wealth, wherein property and all those things. These are all illusionary thought process that corrupts, cling to the phenomenal world of consciousness, believing that it is real. Well, the apparent reality generated by the thought is not the real entity. How? Another 3 minutes.
Brother, 其实我们能够讲能够听到佛法，然后的去实修，
对，
是非常非常的
幸运，
幸运。因为只有通过这个道，然后我们才可以看到所有的一切，要不然我们每天就是生病也是就是生病是免不了的，但是你能不能
But a lot of people will complain on all this and become affected by OA sickness and death and all those things because they cannot understand. That's why you cannot escape the wheel of birth and death, samsara. 因为你悟不到啊，看不到。That's why without a pure awareness cultivation, living beings find it very difficult to free, to liberate. And this is like understanding the secret of life. Then you know how to live. Then life becomes wonderful, beautiful, meaningful. And that is what existence is all about to me. As real as it can be, although moment to moment, everything arises and passes away, no reality. But there is such thing as life, existence, even though not so real, not what you think. But that is the beauty of creation, existence. And every segment you come may not be you, but each and every segment has its possibility of understanding and evolution and what we call the experience, although it's moment to moment, not what you think, not so real. But there is such thing as life, existence. That's why a lot of these things the normal living being cannot understand. Even the scientists also, a lot of things they cannot come to terms with. But they are still probing. Because the study is unending, because there are so much things to study, like the whole education. That's why I say wisdom is unending. Even we all cultivate perfecting the understanding of wisdom is unending. What about knowledge? Knowledge is a lot more rubbish than wisdom.
是的 ，Brother， 我们就让我们在生活里面或者所有我们经历的事情里面去学习，然后 understand it and then live life。感恩 Brother Dio， 阿弥陀佛。
Let's rejoice. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. That's why we always share. Life itself is your greatest teacher. You can learn everything from life existence. Without life, there is no learning, no understanding. But life is really something that is so wonderful. That's why it's called wonderful existence. And life is existence. Existence is time related. Then you can realize the timeless. Then you know how to understand time. You know how to go through creation and existence. And you become beautiful. Because once you understand the unconditioned and the conditioned world, then you know how to live. That part is very difficult to comprehend, and very few teacher or cultivator can teach you that understanding. Most people, they try to teach you, explain to you how to develop the cultivation and realize enlightenment. That's it. But they don't have much understanding of what that enlightenment is. And after one becomes enlightened, what does it mean? What happened after that? Like nothing much they can tell you. Because they themselves haven't gone through, they haven't penetrated deep enough, extensive enough. That's why this style of cultivation, the Samasa Buddhahood, Bodhisattva way, is very unique and very beautiful. Okay, we will end the session. We will do the sharing of marriage, transfer marriage, then we end. Akasata ca bhumata deva naga mahindika punyang tang anumoditva cirang rakantu loka sasana etawata ca amehi sampadan punya sampadan sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampati siddhya idang me nyatina hotu Sukhita hontu nyatayo idang me nyatinang hotu Sukhita hontu nyatayo idang me nyatinang hotu Sukhita hontu nyatayo Devo asadukalina sasa sampati hetu cha Fito bhavatu loko cha Raja bhavatu dhammiko Imina punyang kamina mame bala samagamo satang samagamo hotu yawa nivana patiya sadhu sadhu sadhu. Okay, you can now pay respect mindfully to Lord Buddha, Kuan Yin Bodhisattva, and all the worthy ones that we end. Sadhu.